Welcome back. Emeritus Professor Linda Locklear from the Department of American Indian Studies here at Palomar College will be introducing her panel, and they will be presenting on revitalization of languages, tribal languages taught at Palomar College.
Okay. Hi. It's been a while since I've been back in this area. I used to teach over there across the hall for years and years and years. I'm really happy to be here to let you students and faculty and other people know about what we have been doing here at Palomar College for over 20 years. We teach American Indian languages, 4 different American Indian language of the local tribes in this area. We teach Luiseño. We have Uto-Aztecan, which is going to have Cahuilla, or going to have Cupeño and Nahuatl, and we teach Cahuilla. And today we have 2 wonderful speakers who have driven all the way from Anza and Banning, almost 2 hours away to come and talk to you about this today. So I'm really excited about this, and I want you to know that this is something that you as students can also take here at Palomar College as a language. It's right outside your back door, your neighbors. And there's a lot going on in Indian country about in regards to language. For example, Pechanga Indian Reservation has a language immersion school for kindergarten through 6th grade, and the kids are speaking Luiseño or Anchamtela at age 5 and 3. So it's really exciting to see this revitalization in our community. So today we're going to focus on Cahuilla, which is one of the languages we speak. And I'm really happy to have these 2 young speakers. This is Lisi Rios, and Lisi is from the Cahuilla band in Anza, in the Cahuilla. And Aaron Sabel is from Los Coyotes, which is here in San Diego County up by Warner Hot Springs. And his grandmother was one of the key people that has made it possible for us to be able to teach these languages today. So we were trying to decide who was going to start first, the oldest or the youngest. And our other speaker, Michael, got sick today. So he's from Torres Martinez, another Cahuilla speaking tribe way out Highway 10. And I think he had the longest driver of coming here. So who's going to start? The eldest?
The youngest.
The youngest.
Miyahwe. Mulunuk desa chuman. Emen tachles wetem, ben emen tachles wetem melkicham, achama ki, emen setwipu, enakbaka, achakwe kamekanokpish, nekuktas kalive, emiiak ne. I just first want to acknowledge that none of this would be possible if it wasn't for our elders that were here. They've passed on. But it was these women that worked really, really hard to work with the linguists at the time to document a lot of this work so that we would still be able to speak this language today. And there was 3 of us that were working under a linguist that worked with my grandmother for a lot of years. And he'd say the same thing too, that this was not his work, it was my grandmother's work. So he does give knowledge to our elders too, that worked real hard so that we could learn our language. I am that dream that my grandparents had. I am that dream that my elders had. And I'm also that nightmare that the invaders came and wanted to eliminate. I'm also that nightmare that speaks the language that they worked real hard to get rid of. I don't speak it like my grandmother, but it takes time. There's a lot of things that must be relearned, so that we could speak this language fluently. And we'll get into that a little bit later, but what I want to say, this is my introduction, is Palawe ipapish ne hiukalive, ne achimapish ne ivilupi, hespen achima ne ivilupi, te emiiik, takles wetem melkichim, achima ki takles we melkichim, and set wipu nakmayam achakwe. Kamekanokpish ne puktas kalive emi has pen ayoka chemi nukas chemi tavish and pua anpu. Umut taklis wetem hemi. And what I just said is to listen closely to what we're saying, and that may the Creator bless all of you.
All right. Miakoy umu Naneto Elizabeth Rios, Halisa Rios. Naminkim Iswatim Penkaserom Nehentukut. Hello, everyone. My name is Elizabeth or Lisa Rios. I'm from the Kuya Band of Indians, which, as she said, is a reservation in Anza, California. I come from the Lubo and Casero families, and I am of the Wildcat Moiety and Wolf Clan. I know that the discussion was really centered around community work, but as Aaron will go into, different Kuya reservations have different capacities of where we are in terms of resources and heritage language speakers about what we're doing in our communities. So for my community, we are just building the resources to have language classes. So my focus is really bringing the heritage language into my home with my children. My great-grandfather, his name was Joseph Lubo. He was a heritage language speaker, so meaning that his first language was Kuya, so that wasn't too many generations ago that, in our area, Kuya was the main language spoken. But over a couple of generations, that's really changed. But for me, I'm trying to change that where my kids are hearing our language every single day in the home. So some small ways that I do that is in everyday routines. So for example, when it's time to get up in the morning, the first thing they hear is Kwapi, so wake up. So every morning they hear Kuya as the first language being spoken. Every night I tell them I love you in Kuya at Ne'ayo'a. So when they wake up and when they go to sleep, they're hearing Kuya. So with that, I will read a coloring book that I made for my community. So again, this is just a small resource, but very meaningful in that kids can see the language and then they can hear it as well. So there's also a YouTube read-along version. So I will start with that. So Kwapi. Tame cha'akika. Niye yaka Kwapi. The sun is rising, my mom says, wake up. Nepin enanka pish pe kalive kuwianga. Sut wenipa. Penteo kalive pen penakma kalive. I know it's morning time in Kuya because I hear and I see. So the animals that I'm going to go into are everyday animals you'll see on the Kuya reservation so that kids can become familiar with things that they're seeing. So supli equishmal ne yul iswed. Iika muyakim yukiwenetem. Baltukushnek chemish. So one boy, my little brother Wolf, playing with his green dinosaurs. And also things that they might be playing with because my son, he used to love dinosaurs, so they have that word now. Mewi ne achem atwalim, dulekchem hem iikwe simutpa. My two black pet dogs are playing on the grass. Mepa wikik malyem devishnekchem hem takmue kelawetpa. 3 white birds are singing on the tree. Mewichu istam niskachi benkichem hem nangwepa waikingal pa. 4 gray coyotes are howling in the pasture. So on my reservation, we have a lot of pasture land with cattle, so that's why I included that. Nemekwanang puwichem, pinga hem call. 5 roadrunners are on the road. And for our Kuya people, puwish or puwichem, they're considered good luck, and we have a story about them. So, Necha akika, I rise. Niye yaka miahwe matulaka, etne ayo up and et following it. My mom says, good morning, I love you, and you are beautiful. Nesun achama, ivi tamit hema. I am thankful for this day. So that's just a small example of the little resources that we have. Also in my home, when the Cricut came out, the Cricut machine where you can customize different stickers, I took that and I started labeling things in our home. So like on our salt shaker, I put ingil on it so that just that kids are seeing it in the home. Because the home is really the place where language reclamation or revitalization is going to happen. Schools are great resources, but it's really in the homes where that's going to happen. So thank you.
One more time. Okay, agapa ne koktas ka iwiluat. Hen nineteo Aaron Sabel pakik. Hen nekat pachuwat pa Las Coyotes. I've been given a really important opportunity to be able to work on Zoom for the kids in Morongo, the young people, to be able to help teach the kids from 1st till 8th. And I never did this before. And I've run across some very, very should we say, hurdles that I've been having to walk through because I didn't know how to do none of this, and I had all the information to be able to get ready to teach them, but I didn't know how to do it. The first year that I did this, I underestimated the young people. I underestimated them a lot. They were quick to understand and repeat the things that I was saying, and I should have given them more. So I'm not doing that this year. I've jumped into a whole different avenue of it, and it has to do a lot with verbs and how verbs need to be a transitive or intransitive. Also, too, about how to help a child understand that Kauai people didn't think, okay, you know how we speak in English, good morning. We didn't say that in Kauai. Oh, good morning. We didn't say that stuff. Long time ago when the old people were outside, they were busy looking for what they needed to. They didn't just talk to talk. They had something to say. So when the words that came out, it specifically said, we were talking about this. We were talking about that. We were gathering this. We were gathering that. So and when we speak in Kauai, we do have transitive. We do have non-transitive things. And I didn't know all this stuff. But I've had to relearn this stuff to be able to understand that so that we can teach these young people this. There's a lot of people that come in to speak in Kauai or any other language real quick, think they're going to get it like that. But when they realize it later on, it's tough. It really is tough. There's a lot of things. I had to learn a lot of things to speak English, but I didn't realize it was by, and we speak it now. And that's the same thing with this. So I tell these young people, they want to know how you say Pokemon in Kauai. How do you say this? But because they don't understand the concept that we didn't have no Pokemon a long time ago. So we've had to, what we're doing is that we're trying to do a blend of English words translated into Kauai to be able to, so that these people could use these. My grandmother believed in not using any other language except for her own, our language to be able to describe things in Kauai. And that's what we're doing today. And some people don't look to that because there was a group that used the Spanish language to help speak Kauai back in the day. So they think that they're speaking Kauai, but they're really speaking Spanish with our Kauai language. And we've tried our best to change that. This is an example of what I'm teaching in the schools. And by the end of the year, they would be able to read and understand what it is that we're speaking right here. It says, Yaka ne'iniak netahunivash. Hachami me teoka. Niaka al piak tahunivash ne. Penteoka suple equishmatli, penteoka suple meteoka mepa nanwishmalmi. He yaka net tach univash net. Penhani I yacham hemi iek. Equishmal pen nanwishmalyum navokam. Emen set wipu angapa. Emen set wipu navokam pen nacham ipa. Na'achima, nesuntesa achima. And what that is saying, that's pretty much a conversation between two people. My teacher said to me, who is that you see? I said to my teacher, one boy, I see one boy and three girls. Actually, I think it says two girls. Yeah, yes, and teacher, and yes, my teacher said to me, then go and tell them to come over here, please. And again, come and tell them to sit right here. Thank you, and you're welcome. These are the things that I'm slowly building up to in these, and these young people are catching it. It's about repetition with them. You say it about 15 times, and then they're repeating it later. And I'm finding out, I'm hearing that their parents are saying they don't know what these young kids are saying because they're coming home and they're saying these things in Kauai. You know, that is a really good feeling because, like I said, this was a dream of my grandmother to do what we're doing, and she worked hard to make sure that we had all this information to do it. So if anybody's here is native and you're learning to speak your language, remember, take the time. It is not going to happen overnight. It is not going to happen overnight. And just the fact that there are people here that are working that can understand the language and are capable of teaching it, that's something. That's something, because not long ago, this was not possible. And there are people that did everything possible to take it away from us. It may not mean much to you guys, but it means the world to us. It really does. And there's one more thing that I think that was very important for us to know is that I did the object form. Oh, okay. In English, we say the big red dog. In Kauai, we say the dog. We say dog red big. Now, if we start speaking that way in English, we do in Kauai. When it comes to an object form, the object noun phrase changes, and it's the last word that changes in that object phrase. So if we do that in Kauai, it'll say dog red big, and the big gets the objective. There's a noun phrase and a subject noun phrase and an object noun phrase. How do we know the difference? In Kauai, we have a suffix that tells us that, and it's always the last word on that little phrase. So if we do it in English, it'll only be the noun, and then the rest of it will just be the dog, not the big red dog. See, there's a dilemma there when we just want to speak like we do in English, in Korea, and most people don't understand it until you start getting to understand how to use these phrases and how they work. So again, that's my dilemma that I've been learning, that I've been having to go through teaching these young people. But I'll tell you what, it is very, I should say, I don't know how I could say it, it really warms my heart to hear some of these young people singing some of these Korea songs that we've created so that they can learn them.
Okay, I think I'm going to since our third speaker wasn't able to make it because he was ill, I think I'll just speak a little bit myself. I hadn't planned on it because I do work with the language. I work primarily with Chantela Luiseño language, which is one of the languages here in San Diego County. Palma Reservation, La Jolla Reservation, Rincon Reservation, missing one, can't think of the other word. And then we have some Kuya speakers up in Riverside County, in Saboba, and so on. And what we've been doing here at Palomar, we started over 20 years ago, and we now have people that have been speaking it. So I actually have been learning the language like a child. I can, like Aaron says, that's the way to learn. In songs, we use songs a lot, like Sapulwe pa, hi Sapulwe pa, hi, what's up my hair, what's up my hair, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I can count. So it's counting up to 5 in the language. And what the person who's teaching the language does is he takes songs that kids are familiar with, like Twinkle Twinkle and This Old Man. You you guys, most of you might know those songs from when you were kids. And then he translates them into Chantela, and that's how we start with the kids. And they learn, like Aaron was saying, repetitive over and over and over and over again. And one of the first things, I have 9 grandchildren, so I've spent a lot of time going to my grandchildren's classes, and I usually bring somebody with me. My grandchildren and my children are all Luiseño speakers from the Palma tribe. So I usually will go in with one of the people from the tribe, hopefully an elder. I always try to bring an elder. And what do you teach a first or second grader or kindergarten in 20 minutes? What would you think? What would be something? They want to know something. They want to know something. My granddaughter, who's 7, said, Grandma, just teach them one little thing so they know it. So what we taught them this year when I went with her dad to the class we taught them Ichatonga, Ichatonga. Anybody have any idea what that might be, if you could translate it? Want to try? Okay, Icha up, Tonga down. Icha up, Tonga down. So now my granddaughter came home yesterday and said, Grandma, somebody actually said that Icha Tonga to me today.